Sup, millennials? This next segment is woke, lit, and just possibly on fleek. Also, it involves Brooklyn. For the Clinton campaign, the kids right now are not all right. And Brooklyn's problem involves a subject that millennials hate because it isn't all about them. That subject is math. Team Clinton has been dispatching surrogates to pitch young voters, many of whom supported Bernie Sanders, a group that she has had considerable trouble consolidating. Our men, Steve, Mr. TV Yaccino, who's here with us in the studio, and Sasha Victory Lab Issenberg, who joins us from Grand Rapids, Michigan, took a close look at the voters they're calling Berniependents, who they are and where to find them. So I'm going to start with my friend Sasha. Tell us, Sasha, where Hillary Clinton could have the most trouble with Bernie Sanders supporters.
Yeah, so he did well in the primaries, not really among traditional Democrats who voted in the Democratic primaries, but among independents who had the opportunity to vote. And we sort of looked at this, what we call the Bernie belt, these states stretching from Maine to Washington. He won in the primaries, every primary and caucus abutting Canada except for New York. And these states have something in common. They're overwhelmingly white. They're fairly small, with the exception of Michigan. And they are states often with very high turnout already, and that poses a challenge. It means that Hillary Clinton can't decide that she's going to get to her win number by going out and finding African Americans or Latinos and registering them and turning them out. She probably has to go out and actually win these voters over, keep them from going to a third party or from sitting on the sidelines.
So, Steve, who are these Berniependents, and where will they matter the most?
Yeah. Berniependents are, as Sasha said, people who are not affiliated with either party, who voted in Democratic primaries or caucuses in the primary. So we looked particularly at New Hampshire because it was a place where Bernie Sanders won by quite a bit. His margin there over Hillary Clinton was 22%. And so we said, how many were there? Who are they? Where are they? And so we mapped all these some mid-range partisan, no party affiliation people who were throughout the state who had voted in the Democratic primary. We found there was a lot of them, 27,000 of them. It's about 13% of what we expect to be the Democratic voters in this next election.
Sasha, what are the messaging challenges to trying to reach out to this group for Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, I mean, we see Hillary Clinton's broad persuasion message focused at soft Republican, center-right independents, rolling out endorsements from people like John Warner. That's not something that these, Sanders holdouts, young voters want to hear.
I got to dispute that. I was at a hacky sack tournament over the weekend. All they were talking about is where's Warner going to go? Where's the Warner endorsement going to go? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, there's some, Next Gen, the Tom Steyer Super PAC has done some research with Project New America, and what it shows us isn't surprising. That they care about climate change, they care about college tuition, which is free college, which is the thing that Clinton brought Sanders to talk about yesterday in New Hampshire, and so she's going to have trouble running on two sort of parallel channels if she wants to trot out endorsements from George H.W. Bush, for example. I'm not sure that it might not just not appeal to the millennials, it might actually alienate them.
Yeah. If you look at
the thing about that event, it was in Durham, which is a college town. Right. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton have been visiting college towns in New Hampshire. Durham, in particular, 1 out of 5 voters that we expect to turn out in the general election are these Berniependents, Bernie independents.
So they obviously matter in New Hampshire. They matter in one congressional district, potentially in Maine. Mm-hmm. Maybe if Wisconsin and Michigan become battlegrounds, but do they matter in the bigger battleground states? Florida, North Carolina, Ohio.
Yeah, there has been some progressive groups that have been trying to track them, and as Sasha said and others, a lot of them are younger voters. Bernie Sanders did a lot better among younger voters than Hillary Clinton did, and so they've been tracking them throughout these battleground states, and in a lot of states, including Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, the margin by which it's not that Hillary's losing this group. It's that she's just not winning it by as much as Obama beat Romney among this group in 2012. And so the margin by which we think Hillary Clinton is, that the number of Sanders holdouts for Hillary Clinton are not voting for Hillary Clinton, that's larger than her margin in these states. And so it could make a difference if she can't consolidate them.
Right. So Sasha, last question. We've seen Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton up in New Hampshire with Bernie Sanders, this all happening this week. How much progress, if any, is the Clinton campaign making with these voters that you guys are talking about?
You know, the polling from NextGen shows that what they call the Sanders holdouts went from 20% of millennials to 15% of millennials. So that's some gain for the months of July to August, which was the Democratic convention when Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders had very high-profile speeches in addition to the Obamas. But, you know, I think that the fact that they're still doing this as we approach October is a bit of a surprise and suggests that they have work to do. And I don't think that they expected in the last 2 weeks of the campaign they might be forced to sort of go to a hard left message to appeal to what they thought was a core part of the Democratic coalition now.